down the heavens to prepare our minds. So you reach up like you're yawning, you go up, you can come up on your toes a bit, and then as you breathe out, you compress down. So breathe in. This is called gathering the heavens, the Chinese name for this movement. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, we're focusing, gathering energy, we're pushing it down, we're starting to warm up our lower bodies. One more, breathe in, breathe out. So just like with that, we warm up from the inside. We don't want to do jumping jacks or anything that might hurt ourselves. That's why even though Qigong can be done and Tai Chi can be done by any level, because since you adjust it to your body. So what we're doing is your feet are about 2 shoulder widths apart. You're going to bend your knees. What we're doing is you want to keep your back against the wall and you go down. You don't let your knees go past your toes. So what we're doing is we want to engage our glutes, our thighs, our calves. So we're now going to hold this position for a few minutes. This is generating warmth in our lower body that we're going to transfer up. And while we're doing it, we're also going to massage your internal organs by doing abdominal breathing. And of course, we use our hands. So we're in spring. This is our last week of spring. So spring is a wood season. Everything's exuberantly growing. So we're a tree. So this is called standing like a tree. So our hands, our knees, our toes, and our hands are touching the wall in front of us if we were against the wall. Our pelvis is rolling under. It's like we're pushing back our kidneys. So it's like we have this 2 directions of force. We're pushing with our hands against the breeze, and our kidneys are pushing back. That's straightening our back. Okay, we're going to breathe in with our abdomen, and then breathe out. Breathe in, put your mind below your navel, breathe out. You want to use visualization when you use Qigong and Tai Chi movements, so you're going to breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. Now, because we're practicing normally, when you do, this is called natural breathing. You actually want to be breathing like this all the time. It can be very gentle, just your abdomen goes out, and then breathe out, pull in, breathe in, breathe out. Now, however, we're practicing right now as opposed to this is our daily natural breathing. So what we're going to do is when you inhale, your stomach goes out, but when you exhale, right now we're going to pull in, we're going to pull up our perineum, push down our diaphragm, squeeze our ribs, and pull our navel to our spine. So breathe in, and then we're breathing out, and you're compacting your internal organs, pulling up, squeezing in and out. So there's 6 directions of force. This is pushing our internal organs back to where they should be. Breathe in, breathe out. It's also massaging them, breaking up adhesions, warming them up. Just going to do 2 more breaths. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. Okay, we're going to come back. That should have generated, you feel like if I touch my legs, I feel some heat there. Okay, we're just going to pull down the heavens once. Breathe in, breathe out. Now we want to open up our joints and our nervous system so that our energy flows. So we start out by opening up our joints by using our wrists. We're shaking. This is called shaking the 9 gates. The 9 gates are our 9 major joints: hip, knee, and ankle, shoulder, elbow, and wrist, and upper, lower, and middle back. So we're starting by shaking. We're trying to get blood to go out to our fingertips, but now they're going to keep shaking, but that's because we're shaking our body. So this is called shake the 9 gates. So should you hear this, if you go we want the skin to move over our muscles move over our bone, breaking up adhesion in our body, letting energy go. Our hands are flopping around, our rib cage is coming up and dropping in our internal organs, and our heels are coming just slightly off the ground, and we're dropping onto our heels. That's sending shock wave up our body, breaking up stickiness in our internal organs. It's also any kind of stress on our lower body that tells our body that we need more bone density. So we're going to come up and then throw that energy out to our fingertips. Okay, now we're going to open up our spine. We usually don't. We're want to twist our spine. This is also, we're doing this, you want to be turning your midsection, because then it's like we're wringing, we're in a sponge, it's squeezing our internal organs. You don't want to be turning your hips, because if you do, you're going to be hurting your knees. So your hips are staying in the same place. We're turning our midsection. So it's warming up our spine and warming up our internal organs. Our hands can hit us against us. We should remember we always try to use our mind when we do these things. So pick a point, focus your eyes, focus your eyes, focus your eyes, and focus your eyes. Okay, that's called dragon shakes and whiskers. Now we're going to turn if you have disc problems, you shouldn't do this like if you have a ruptured disc, but what we're trying to do is we're trying to open up our spine to the side. We don't usually lean this way, but this is a crescent pose, so you're going to reach out, you're going to breathe in. These are 3 wake-up exercises. You can do them anytime during the day. Do them 5 or 6 times. Just get up, breathe in. So your shoulders and elbow and thumb are against the wall behind you, if you were up against the wall. So you're breathing in. Reach out, open up those hands as much as you can. It's like somebody's trying to pull your shoulders out of your sockets so you get some blood flow in your shoulders. Breathe in, breathe out. We're pushing the thumb. This is crescent pose, so we're trying to get our spine. This time we're going to breathe in, breathe out. We're just going to do one more breath here. Breathe in, breathe out, relax into it, and then breathe in, breathe out. Reach, you're pushing that thumbnail in, and then breathe in, relax into it now, and then breathe out. See if you can get a little more bending. All right, during the spring, the movement, the form for spring is called 8 brocades. There's 8 movements. We're going to go through a few of them. We've gone through them over the last 9 weeks. The first one is called splitting heaven and the earth. And what we're doing is we're working in our tendons. So what we're going to do is we're going to palm the ceiling. See if I can get back so you can see me. Palming the ceiling and palming the floor. The one that's palming the ceiling, it's pushing the direction of your shoulders. The other one's pushing straight forward. They're not just up there. We're pulling back our hands in order to work our forearm tendons, and we're stretching. We're getting the kinks out. So breathe in, breathe out. We're really stretching. We're trying to get some cross body. You want cross-body communication, plus we're pushing to open, we're getting the kinks out of our nervous systems. So breathe in, breathe out, so splitting heaven and the earth. Breathe in, breathe out, and then breathe in, breathe out. There's a variant of this which you can do, which is breathe in. As you breathe out, this hand comes down the back, because now we're twisting. This hand is still pushing against the heaven, but now we're turning around and looking behind us. So breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, push, and then breathe in, breathe out. Okay, the next one we're going to do is 2 hands press to the heavens. This is, once again, working our forearms. We're also opening up our shoulders. So what we're doing is your hands are coming together. You're going to breathe in. You're going to breathe out. You're going to push. You don't quite lock your arms out. In fact, what you want to do is when you get to the end, you want to push your shoulders, kind of like you're trying to open up your shoulders. So you breathe in. breathe out. Now we're going to breathe in. We're going to go up. You lean back slightly. As you breathe out, you go up on your toes, and if you're not concerned about your balance, otherwise just stretch. You're reaching in. This is two hands pressed to heaven. So breathe in, and then as we breathe out, you're going to come back, and we're going to do that crescent pose again. We're going to breathe out, and our hands stay above the middle of our heads. Just relax into it. Now we're going to breathe in, breathe out. So breathe in, we're stretching. You're coming up on your toes. You want to work your calves. And as you breathe out this time, you're going to look over your shoulder. Remember, we're not turning, you can turn your hips a tiny bit, but we're basically turning our waist to engage our internal organs. Breathe in, then breathe out. We're going to come down, your hands come out. Open up your hands so we're working the tendons and the fingers. You want to stretch, open up your shoulders, and come back, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in. Like I said, this is from a set of forms called the 8 brocades. It's quite famous. Breathe out. If you go on the internet, if you go on YouTube, you'll see there's a lot of people leading classes in this. Breathe out, look over, and then breathe in, breathe out, look around, and then open up and come back. All right, so that one, these have been working our mid-body flexibility and our spine. So we can turn. The next one is called Gather the Sun to Press the Earth. This has a very important sub movement, which we've gone over several times, but I'll just go over it quickly now, which is your dragon spine. So as you're going, when you go up, you want to, I'll just show you the spine part. You want to slightly arch your back, and then when you come down, you're on your back. So this is your horse back, and then this is your turtle back. When you do your turtle back, your pelvis rolls under, you're going up, and then down. Okay, that's the first part. What we're trying to do is separate the vertebrae and get spinal fluid moving up. In conjunction with that, we're going to be moving our shoulders. So the shoulders are going back. When you pull your shoulders back, that opens up your chest. We're trying to get movement in our sternum and our ribs so that we can have flexibility in our rib cage so we can breathe. Otherwise, we'll starve ourselves of oxygen. So when you go back, your shoulder blades come back and touch in the back. So it's kind of like you're trying to grab an apple with your shoulder blades, and then when you breathe out, when you do your turtle back, your shoulder blades come. So that's basically your dragon spine. So what we're going to do now is, we're going to breathe in, we're going to come up, we're going to go up on our toes, we're doing a horseback, and we're touching our shoulder blades and back. As we breathe out, our shoulder blades come back, and our hands come together, and we cave in our chest. We're stretching, we're touching our collarbones together, and that's stretching our back. We're just going to do this a couple times. This is pulling down the habit part. So we're going to breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. That's just, okay. So now we're going to do the next level. We're going to breathe in, keep breathing in, and you're still breathing in. Now you have a chest full of air, but you're squeezing. We're trying to increase our lung capacity. Then as we breathe out, we're going to bring our hands, we're going to scrub our ribs, so we stimulate our internal organs, and our hands are going to come back and support our kidneys. And when we get back here, now we're back in our horseback, we're looking up, and our shoulder blades are touching and back. So breathe in, We're gonna turtle back, breathe out, scrub, look up, breathe in, and then we breathe out. Okay, that's the first part. Now what we're going to do is we're going to breathe in again. We're going to do our horseback, just like we're looking at the sky, but we're going to lean forward. So we're arching our back, our shoulder blades are touching, we're looking forward. As you go forward, you'll feel this in your hamstrings, at least that's where I feel it, which is what we're trying to do, engage. So we're here, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in. We're looking forward. Now when you get to the point where it's uncomfortable, you're going to drop your head. Be careful if you have low blood pressure, just stop here. Your hands go down the back of your legs as we breathe out. Now we're here, we're just hanging loose, we're breathing in, and then as we breathe out, we bend our knees, and we use our core to unfold our backs as we come up. So this is gather the sun to press the earth. I practice this one a lot. So breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. Bend your knees when you're coming up, one vertebrae at a time. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. And breathe out. When you come up, your hands go on the inside of your legs. When you go down, your hands go down the back of your legs. When they come up the inside of your leg. There's a whole energy. Your energy flows down the back of your legs and comes up the front of your legs. So you're stimulating the meridians there. Okay, so that was gather the sun to press the earth. We're going to do now a lower body one, which is we're going to do our horse stance. So when you do a horse stance, this is one of the basic stances when you're learning martial arts, or I believe these are also in yoga. But if you Tai Chi, Qigong, martial arts, this is one of the standard stances. Your feet are about 2 shoulder widths apart. Your back is straight. It's like you're up against the wall and you're bending your knees. This is actually the same position when we were when we did the meditation at the beginning. So you're here. What you're doing is you want to maintain your back straight. You want to get as low as you can. When you start, usually you can only go about this low because your knees can't go past your toes. So later, once you learn to balance, you can learn because your back has to be straight, so you don't want to do this, right? You're getting lower, you want to be able to hold your back straight, keep your knees back and still go low, but that takes practice. So you're going to work up to that. By next spring, we'll be doing that. So what we're going to do is we're just going to practice, the first part is just practicing the horse stance. You're going to come up, going to breathe in, and then push your hands, the palms together, and we're going to lower. This is working the tendons in their forearm. So we're breathing in, breathe out, and we're going to sink into our horse stance. So we're going to breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. Okay, that's just our horse stance. The next 2 movements are in a horse stance. That's why we went through that. The next part of the 8 brocades, it's called pull bow to shoot an arrow. And once again, what we're trying to do, we're trying to build a flexibility in our midsection and build up our organ health, and we're doing that once again by turning our waist. But this time we're also, in the same movement, we're building up our lower body so that we're stable. So we're gonna breathe in, breathe out. You're just gonna sink down a bit. Now what you're gonna do is you're gonna turn your waist. You're not gonna turn your hips, you're turning your waist. And what you're gonna do is this hand comes out, you're gonna pull a bow. Okay, so what we're doing, and see when I pulled across, see my elbow and my finger, they're in the same line, because what's happening is somebody's pulling the arrow and somebody's pulling my elbow, and that's opening up my chest. We're trying to get some flexibility in our sternum. So, and then we let go of the arrow. And we come up, we'll do one more on this side. So breathe in, we get here, we turn our waist as much as we can. As we breathe, we breathe out here. So as we turn, then we breathe in. As we pull, we breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out, turn, breathe in, breathe out. Okay, so you can stay at that level. The next level is you breathe in, breathe out, you go down to where you're comfortable, turning, and this, we're pulling just like before, but what happens now is when you pull, if you can, by maintaining a straight back and not sticking your knees out too much, you can sink down lower before you let go. So you're gonna breathe in, otherwise just stay with, if this is your first time, just stay with staying high. So breathe in, but you wanna engage your lower body, and then breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. Do two more. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. Okay, that's pull bow to shoot an arrow. The final one, this is probably the toughest one. This is called cat gazes at the moon, but we're still, remember we showed you the dragon spine, that's a vital, you might think, oh, that's just a little something, but that's actually a vital part of your training and being able to move. Masters use that when they want to project power. They use the dragon spine to pull it up and then push it out. So they're using their horse and then the turtle. So in this thing, and that also, that's opening up our spine, sternum flexibility, rib cage flexibility, getting spinal fluid to move up our spines. So in this one, all these are just variants of that move actually, because here, what we're gonna do is, this one this is one of the few times where when you go into your horse stance, you can actually bend over. You don't have to go down. And this, so go to whatever level, especially if this is your first time, just go to a reasonable level. What we're gonna do is we're gonna breathe in, and then we're pulling our shoulder blades together, we're looking up, and we're in our horse, just like as usual. And then we're gonna breathe out, we're gonna hold the apple under our chin. So here, we're breathing in, we breathe out, we're gonna come up and go into our turtle. So breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. So basically we're doing that dragon spine. Breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. Okay, but why do they call it cat gazes at the moon? So you can stay there. That's actually building up our lower body strength, and we're massaging our spine. What the cat's going to do, it's going to look over its shoulder and it's going to gaze at the moon. So you're going to breathe in, and now when you breathe out, what you're going to do is, so your horseback, you're going to come to the center, and we're not going to rotate as usual, not going to rotate our hips. That's going to destroy our knee. We're working on our organ health. So that means, yes, we're going to turn the waist. So what you're doing is here, these are to keep your knees, because you're going to turn to the side and you don't want this to collapse. So your hands keep your knees in the same place, and you're going to turn, and you're going to try to, you have to raise the shoulder and drop the other shoulder. It's like you're trying to get your sternum to look at that wall, and then your eyes continue up and gaze at the moon. So we're coming back, breathe in, and then breathe out. You're going to turn and gaze at the moon. Breathe in, and now we're going to stay in the center. Breathe out. We're just going to do one more set. You're going to breathe in, and as you breathe out, you're going to turn your sternum, keep your knees in the same place. Look over your shoulder at the sky. You're turning your shoulder. So breathe in. And one last one. Breathe out. Okay, that's cat gazes at the moon. All right, so those are, there's two other ones there's three other ones we didn't do, but one of them is King shakes his body, which is basically doing this, which is shake the 9 gates, which we did at the beginning. Well, we're going to do, we only have a couple minutes left. So what we're going to do, because I wanted to do a Tai Chi movement where we move like water. So this is embrace the sun and the moon. If you came last week, we did a Tai Chi lesson. And so what we do is I try to give a little bit of Tai Chi skills at the end. The Qigong is to increase our health. The Tai Chi is to much more increases our balance, our mental awareness. So one of the main skills, just like that dragon spine, there's another main skill. We have our feet about 2 shoulder widths apart. We're doing posting. So you're just going back and forth. See, my hips are going, my body's staying with my hips. And when do you stop? When your hip, knee, and ankle are straight. The other leg, it doesn't lock out, but it gets pretty straight. That's about how far so we're just going back and forth. This is called posting. See, if I leave my hands just really super loose, see, as I'm moving, my hips are actually moving my hands, right? So the principle we're working on is feet. This is the main principle of Tai Chi. So your Tai Chi teacher should have mentioned this to you already. Feet, waist, hands. So what happens is your feet takes the energy and it moves your hips, which gets your body moving. Then your waist turns and continues that movement, and your hands express what your body is doing. So what we're doing here is we're posting to the one side, and then when we get here, we're turning our body. So we're going to post to the other side. So if you put your hands here like we're praying, this is the easiest way to see it. So you're posting, turning, posting, turning. So see, even though my hands are staying in the same place, you see them moving because they're expressing what my body is doing. Okay, this is the main principle of Tai Chi, one of the main principles, okay? So what we're doing here, and when you turn, once again, you don't turn your hips because you're gonna hurt your knees. We wanna keep those knees, you need those knees. So we're here, and then once again, we're turning our waist for our health, and it's also projecting. So here we go, this is posting, turn, feet, waist, hands, feet, waist, hands. Okay, so now we're going to do a hand movement that goes with it. So what happens with this, once you have this skill done, there's a lot of different, last week we did wave hands like clouds. I'm doing this with my hands, but we see them going back and forth because they're following, see, they're staying over the center of my body, but they're following what my body is doing, the same thing. There's another one, turn the millstone. My hands are just going in and out, but they look like they're going in a circle because they're following my waist. What we're doing tonight is we're doing embracing the sun and the moon. So what we're doing is, see, as we move, we're moving sideways now. So we're posting to this side, and then we're continuing to move, and see, that throws my hands up. So here's what the movement does. We're here. So we're breathing in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. Okay, so we get here, so we've posted to this side, our hands are coming down. Our waist turns, and that continues them going up. When they get to the top, I'm exaggerating this now, we shift to the other side. What happens? Our hands start coming down the other way. They get here, I continue turning my waist. When they get here, I shift to the other side, and that pulls them back and forth. So that's a violent expression of what we're doing. So we're doing here, we're gonna post and turn. Now post, turn. Okay, so here we are. We post and turn. Post and turn. Post and turn. So we're posting. We get here, turn. Post. Turn, post, turn. We go here, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in. Breathe out. So we're going to keep doing it. We're doing Tai Chi as a water form. So we never stop moving. So when you get to the center, you don't stop moving, keeps going when you get to the top. As soon as you would just be stopping, the water's going up to the top of the hill, it gets up to the top of the hill, then it comes back down. It goes past the center and it flows up the next hill, it gets to the top, and it's coming back down. In this case, you want your back to be straight. You're going back and forth. Just really relax. Your hands, you want your hands to stay under each other. You can, because you're grabbing the sun's a ball, so you keep the ball there. You let go, and then we get up, you grab the moon. So you have this ball that's moving back and forth. So your hand, you want to be aware of the energy that's in your hands. We'll just do 3 more times. So post, turn, post, turn. You're just like water. Post, turn. Last time. Post, turn. Okay, so then we're going to come back to the center. We're going to bring our feet together. We're going to pull down the heavens to close our practice. Seal up all the energy we gathered. So you're going to breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. One more time, and then breathe in. This time you're going to breathe out.